Welcome back to WWE Express, and right now, we are witnessing the birth of a potential superstar that could absolutely reshape the entire SmackDown landscape. What happens when a rising talent makes their explosive debut by dismantling one of the most physically dominant forces in the entire company? That's exactly what we're breaking down today. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because we're diving deep into how Ricky Saints has officially announced himself on the biggest stage of them all, and the implications of what this victory means for everyone involved. Let's talk about the setup here, because context is everything in professional wrestling storytelling. Femi came into this match riding an incredible wave of momentum. This is a man who has been presented as nearly unstoppable. His sheer size, his athleticism, his power, all of it combined creates this seemingly insurmountable challenge for anyone stepping into the ring with him. SmackDown had been building him up as someone who could potentially be the next big force in this company. That's the narrative they were crafting. That's the story everyone was believing. And then Ricky Saints showed up and changed everything. What makes this debut so incredibly significant is the way it was executed. This wasn't just a clean victory, this was a statement. This was a young talent coming in and saying, "I don't care who you are or what people think you're capable of. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to prove that I belong at the highest level of the sport." That mentality, that confidence, that's what makes superstars. You can have all the skills in the world, but if you don't believe you belong in the biggest moments, you'll never reach that elite tier. Ricky Saints clearly believes. The physical storytelling throughout this match was absolutely brilliant. Femi, in his power, relied on overwhelming opponents with sheer force. It's a strategy that had been working for him, but Ricky Saints came in with different tools, a different approach, and a complete understanding of how to exploit weaknesses. Speed, agility, ring psychology, these are the things that can neutralize raw power. And that's exactly what we saw unfold. When Femi would go for these massive power moves, Ricky was slipping out, was countering, was making himself a smaller target and turning those strengths into liabilities. There's something genuinely exciting about witnessing the emergence of fresh talent at this level. The wrestling industry, at its core, is about the next generation coming up and proving they're ready. We've seen it countless times throughout history. A new face steps up, takes down an established threat, and suddenly everyone's talking about them. That's where we are with Ricky Saints right now. Every conversation about SmackDown moving forward, every discussion about where this brand is headed, Ricky Saints is now part of that conversation. The victory itself tells us so much about how WWE sees this performer. When you're given that kind of rub, when you're presented with an opportunity to debut against someone of Femi's stature and your position to go over, that's a vote of confidence from the creative team. That's them saying, "We believe this person is going somewhere. We believe this person has what it takes to be a main event player." The question now becomes, what's next? Because winning a match is one thing. Capitalizing on momentum, maintaining that level of excellence, proving that one victory wasn't a fluke, that's where the truly great superstars separate themselves from everyone else. Femi deserves credit here too. In professional wrestling, when you're the one being used to elevate another talent, you're playing an incredibly important role. Femi took this loss, but he did so in a way that still preserves him as a legitimate threat. That's the artistry of wrestling storytelling. Both people can walk away from this match with something meaningful. One person walks away having made an incredible debut that everyone will remember. The other person walks away still credible, still dangerous, still someone you don't want to face. That's how you book wrestling. This also opens up so many fascinating doors for SmackDown's future narrative. You've got this young, hungry, aggressive talent in Ricky Saints who just announced himself on the biggest platform. You've got Femi who's tasted defeat but is absolutely still a force to be reckoned with. What's the story here? Is this a rivalry that develops? Do they face off again? Does Ricky continue climbing the card? Does Oba's path lead elsewhere as he seeks redemption? In professional wrestling, one match can be the beginning of multiple storylines, multiple feuds, multiple opportunities. The character work that both men brought to this bout was phenomenal. Ricky Saints showed us a competitor who believes in himself unconditionally. Someone who sees an opportunity and doesn't hesitate, he attacks it with everything he has. That's a character trait that resonates with audiences because it represents something we all want to see. We want to see the underdog walk in with that chip on their shoulder and prove everyone wrong. Meanwhile, Femi carried himself with the presence of someone who had been dominant. There was an aura of invincibility there, which made his eventual loss that much more impactful. From a technical wrestling perspective, the execution was clean. The way holds were applied, the way transitions happened, the timing of everything, it all came together to create a match that told a complete story. That's what separates great wrestling from just athletic competition. It's storytelling. Every move means something. Every sequence builds toward a conclusion. Every near fall creates doubt. And when that final decision comes, you understand why it happened. You believe in the outcome because you've watched the entire journey. Moving forward, we should absolutely be watching Ricky Saints closely. This person has officially put themselves on the map. Every person in that locker room just saw what he can do. Every veteran, every mid-card competitor, every established main event player, they all witnessed this debut and they're all taking notes. That's the reality of professional wrestling. You earn respect by winning when it matters. You build credibility through victories against significant opposition. Ricky Saints has done both simultaneously, and that's rare. The SmackDown landscape has officially shifted. There's a new energy, a new contender for titles and opportunities, someone who's absolutely hungry and proven he has the skills to back up that hunger. Femi will bounce back, that's what strong competitors do. But Ricky Saints, he's just beginning his ascent, and based on everything we witnessed, there's absolutely no limit to where this person can go. This is the kind of moment that wrestling fans remember. Years from now, we'll look back on Ricky Saints' debut and we'll reference it as the beginning of something special. We'll talk about how this young talent came in against all odds, against a formidable opponent, and proved that they belonged. That's legendary material. That's the kind of debut people talk about forever. Make sure you're subscribed to WWE Express so you don't miss our continued analysis of how Ricky Saints develops from this point forward, how the Femi story continues, and everything else happening across WWE. We're here every single time these storylines unfold, breaking down the psychology, the character development, and the absolute incredible artistry of professional wrestling. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you next time on WWE Express.